Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jo and Pretty Callie, and today I'm going to show you lower body dynamics. And this is the 6th video in my moderate 10-day whole body wellness challenge. Want to find out more about it? Stick around to the end. So let's get started.
Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert.
For the lower body dynamics, you don't really need any specific equipment, but we're going to do the warm-up seated, and then you need some room because we're going to be doing some kicking and big movements. So those are the things you need. So if you need to move real quick, go ahead and hit the pause button, and then we're going to start with a warm-up seated. So just starting off with some seated hip flexion. As we go with the dynamic lower body stuff, it's going to be the same with everything. We're going to go for time, those 30-second increments instead of doing for reps. So you can go at your own pace, especially with lower body dynamic stuff. There's going to be bigger movements. We're going to be getting our heart rate up going a little bit. So if you need to go at your own pace, if you need to take more breaks, we'll do some kickouts. You can do that. Again, just go at your own pace. Don't get to the point where you're losing the proper technique because you're just trying to get it done and you're getting tired. So definitely work your way up to it, even if you have to kind of stop in between or just do a couple in those 30 seconds. And then after each exercise, we'll have a short break. And then after each group of exercises, we'll have a longer break. All right, now some rollouts just to get those hips going a little bit too. And if you've done these a couple times, you've heard me say it before, and you know what to do and you feel good about doing it, hit that mute button and then listen to your own music so you don't have to hear me explaining things, because you know I'll probably be talking the whole time, showing modifications and different ways you can do it, because I just want to give you as much information as possible. So if you have some good workout music that you want to listen to, you can definitely do that. And then just some trunk rotation, again, not really for stretching, just kind of getting everything warmed up. And so once we start going into it after this warm up, we're going to stand up. So once I stand up, I'm just going to move the chair out of the way and then we'll get going. We'll start off with a little bit easier and then get to a little bit harder towards the end. So if you hear me slightly out of breath, it's because we're working hard and I'm having to talk through everything, and sometimes that's a lot harder than it looks. All right, so I'm just going to move the chair out of the way so we can get some nice room in here. The first one's just going to be a modified jumping jack. When you're ready, you can do a full jumping jack if you want, but we're just going to do it a little bit modified to kind of start off with. And so that's just kind of doing one leg out at a time instead of the actual jump. So just kind of getting that modified movement. Again, you can do full jumping jacks, but full jumping jacks are a lot harder than you think. So I like to start off with this kind of modified one. Even though we're in the moderate routine, you can start going just a little bit faster to make it a little bit harder. And again, if you need to kind of slow it down, you can slow it down a little bit too. Don't feel like you have to go as fast as me. I'll try and show you a couple different ways to do it as we go. And then one more of these. Even if you just have to kind of bend your elbows, if the arm part is a little too much for you, a little tiring, or maybe it's wearing your shoulders, getting them fatigued out, you can just kind of do this half going up. You know, eventually you want to do the full movement, but you can definitely do this to modify it if you want, and then eventually go a little bit bigger, go a little bit faster to get those movements in there. So the next one is just going to be marching in place. We are going to alternate each time, but we'll do 4 sets of them just because we are working both sides. So even though we're alternating doing the march while we're doing it, we'll do a couple extra sets of those to get going. So just like it sounds, of marching. So you're just going to kind of bring your knees up as high as you comfortably can, alternating back and forth. Again, if you need modification, if coming up this high maybe is a little too hard, you can go a little bit lower. If you need to hold on to something, if you want to really get that stretch, definitely use the chair that you were in or a countertop for balance, because I'd rather you get the technique down and make sure you're doing it correctly and then add in the balance part as well, because it might not feel like it's a whole lot of balance component, but it really is. So if you want to slow it down to really get the balance, you know, bring it up, kind of a slow motion march now. So now I'm not working my cardio as much, getting that heart going, but I'm focusing more on the balance for this one. So you can change it up a little bit just so you're getting a slightly different exercise each time you do it. And so the dynamic part of it is not really a stretch. You're warming up those muscles, you're loosening up those muscles, but with movement instead of that static stretch that you might do with other things. So that's what makes it dynamic. So I'm gonna go a little faster with this one. If you want to make it even harder, you could add a little hop in there to make it harder. You can also maybe add in your arms, like an opposite arm, opposite knee, to kind of get a little bit of rotation in there as well. So that would be a way to progress it if this is getting a little bit easier for you. So lots of different ways you can do the same exercise to get a little bit different feeling and working of the muscles through each thing. So I'm going to go slow with this one again, kind of focusing on the balance component of it. And again, holding on to something if you feel like your balance is a little bit off, but you want to challenge it. So the next one is going to be hamstring curl kicks. So the way this makes it dynamic is, again, a little bit more for speed, a little bit more kicking behind you versus a traditional curl where you're just coming back. We're going to do a little more kick with it just to make it more of a dynamic movement. So just kicking back. Some people might call these mule kicks, or just I call them hamstring curl kicks. So the key with this one is making sure the thigh is going back. So it's not this, it's not kind of that march, but you're really kicking back behind you. You should feel that quad in the front getting a little stretch when you're doing this. So getting that nice kick in there. And again, you can tell I'm getting my heart rate going, breathing a little bit harder. Like I said, it makes it harder when I'm talking through the exercises, but I want to give you some options. So same thing with this, you can slow it down a little bit. So I'm still getting that kick behind me, going into that hip extension as well, but now I'm slowing it down to focus on balance a little bit. So same thing, if you wanted to progress it a little bit, you could add in lifting up your opposite arm while you're doing it. So if I lift this leg, I'm going to just kind of lift up my opposite arm. So I'm kind of getting those cross chains, the muscles, so they're activating on the opposite side, because that's kind of how those muscles work anyways, because when we walk, our opposite arm goes with our opposite leg. So this is a nice one too, to kind of get a little extra movement in there. And then again, if you need to hold on to something, if you need to go slower, if you need to take a longer break in between, you go at your own pace. So now slowing it down again a little bit, but still getting that kick in there. So the next one is going to be just some squats. So kind of, again, the way to modify it is maybe start off with a modified or a mini squat if you don't feel like you're ready for a full squat. If you feel a little off balance, make sure you have a chair or a couch or something to sit down on behind you. Feet a little past hip width. Stick your booty back and coming up. Try and keep those knees behind your toes. In therapeutic exercises, I know people want to argue about the knees can go in front of the toes. When you're doing therapeutic stuff, if you have something going on in your knees or your hips, this takes away the pressure going straight onto your knees. If I come forward like this, all the weight's on my knees. Can you do that if you don't have any issues? Sure, but this is the way therapeutically is the best way to do it. Works your glutes, hamstrings, quads, ankles for balance and everything. So again, if you want to go a little less, you can do a little mini squat, but still sticking back those hips, hinging those at those hips, getting that nice bend in there. Keeping your feet flat, don't bring the heels up. Try and keep equal weight on the front and the back of your feet. And then you can progress to getting lower into the squat as you get more confident. So the next one is going to be, I call it a Rockette Kick. Probably has a different technical term for it, but these are fun to do in the water, but they're also great for a dynamic workout as well. So you basically come up into a march, and while your leg is up, you're going to kick out, come back in, and come back down. So up, out, in, down. So we'll just do one side to really get it working, and then we'll switch to the other one after the break. So I'm working dynamically this leg, but I'm also working on balance and stability on the other leg. So again, if you need to hold on to something, definitely hold on for balance while you get it down and figured out. So I'll turn around, go the other way. If you need, again, to take breaks in between, definitely do that. You know, after you do the kick, come up, kick, in, take a little break, reset everything, up, kick, in, back down. If you want to go a little bit faster, you can. Just make sure you're doing that technique correctly. Hearing your knees pop while you're going. You can also modify a little bit. You can see sometimes on my left side that's a little bit tighter. Maybe my knee doesn't go all the way straight. So you don't have to come all the way up here. You can come a little bit lower so you can get that full extension or straightening out in the knee. So you can come here and then slowly work your way up higher, because when you come and you kick out, you're really stretching out those hamstrings. So that dynamic exercise really stretches out those hamstrings, works on the quads in the front. So if you have to modify it just a little bit, make sure you're doing it so you can use the correct technique and make sure that you're not making anything super painful. Sore is okay. A little bit of pain while you're doing it is okay. But if it continues while you stop, then you've probably done a little bit too much. And then again, you can slow these down to focus on the balance on the other side. Get all those good pops in there. So the next one is just going to be a simple trunk rotation. So again, this is dynamic. We're not going to hold the stretch. We're just kind of going into that movement to loosen up and warm up those muscles. That's what the dynamic stretches are really good for if you're going to go do a big activity, to get those muscles going, get them loosened up and ready to go. So this is just a smooth, continuous trunk rotation. You see I have my elbows kind of up. That helps me get just a little bit extra kind of oomph at the end, or a little push at the end. If that's making your shoulders tired, you can just go like this. This feels a little more awkward for me, So I like the elbows up. And then also if it's bothering your knees a little bit, bend your knees a little bit. So I'm going to do with my knees bent a little bit the next time to kind of show you, don't keep them locked and get the knees irritated. So if you need to unlock them, so I'm kind of now bending a little bit, you can do that as well. And then you're probably going to get just a little bit more of a rotation. If you happen to have specific back injuries or issues, just make sure you're cleared by your doctor or your therapist to do big twisting motions. If you want to just kind of get in here and do a little turn and that feels okay, then kind of start off there and then you can slowly progress into it just a little bit more. If you wanted to even have your arms out in front of you to get a little different stretch with the dynamic, you could even kind of hold it, arms clasped out in front of you, still kind of bending those knees so you can get that extra rotation in there. But you could also do it this way as well, just to get that extra kind of shoulder stretch and workout with the dynamic movements too. So if you wanted to add a little bit of that upper body with it too. And I'm feeling this really kind of loosen up my whole trunk area from my low back to my mid back to even to the neck. So those are really great too. But again, go in your comfort zone, do what works for you. So this last one, I'm just gonna do how I like doing it, which is kind of the elbows up, little bend in the knee so I can get that extra stretch at the end and get that movement in there. So now we're going to go into some double movement things. So we're going to go back into a squat, but this time when we come up, we're going to come up into a heel raise. So we're kind of adding the stuff together. Try not to stop and then go into the heel raise. Try and make it kind of a continuous motion. Even when you come back down, as your heels are touching, go into the squat. So I go into the squat, I come up almost like I'm taking off. I'm lifting off like a rocket. And then as I come down, it's that motion together. That one was a little off with my balance, but up as I'm coming down, go back into that squat. Really, arch up, extend that back, get really high on the toes, and then come back down. So I'm getting a great workout with the whole lower body with those, and then adding in the calves as well, which is a very nice burn in those calf muscles. So again, if you don't feel quite ready for that, then you can go in steps. So I go here, I come up, then I try and come up, come down, go into that squat. But as you can see, when it's not that smooth motion, it's a little bit easier. So this, if the other way is a little bit too hard, you can kind of go in that modification and then try and get it more smooth after you do it the whole routine a couple times. So the next one is going to be another squat, but this time we're going to do kind of a leg lift or a leg kick out while we're doing it. So I'm going to turn a little bit more so I'm not kicking at you, but I'm kicking out to the side. But again, it's great for balance. If you want to start off slow and then progress, you can kind of going in the steps. So I'll do the steps first this time. So I come down, I come up, then I kick forward, almost like that Rockette kick. Come down, come up, kick forward, step. Making sure the squat is a correct squat each time with proper form. If you feel like you're having a hard time, stop even more. So I stop, coming down, up, kick, back. And then once you accomplish that, you can make it a little more smooth, doing the whole thing as one complete exercise while you're doing it. Whoa, get that balance in there. You can see it's a balance challenge too. And then, so now I'm kind of making it that complete motion. You might see my knees are coming a little bit more over my toes that time. That's okay. Again, unless you have specific knee issues, it can go over just a little bit. But if you're having some pain in there, really stick that booty back, and that should take some pressure off the knees. So there you have it. Those were lower body dynamics. This is the 6th video in my moderate 10-day whole body wellness challenge. If you're interested in finding out more, click on the link in the description below. And if you want to check out other videos from the challenge, moderate or beginner, click on the playlist up there. I know up there, Callie. And remember, be safe, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.